Security operations and IT operations are typically separate groups with different priorities, but there's actually a lot of overlap when addressing vulnerabilities. Even though SecOps owns vulnerabilities, almost one-third of organizations rely on the ITops team for patching, and patching vulnerabilities takes on average over 200 hours per week for IT teams. The biggest challenge lies with the handoff between the teams. Typically, teams are using different spreadsheets and start the process with emails or a phone call to hand off the issue. Stay with us to see how ServiceNow can reduce risk with frictionless workflows, transfer of data, and vulnerability prioritization to empower fast and effective IT response to vulnerabilities. In this demo, we'll show how ServiceNow IT Operations Management and Security Operations solutions work together to achieve better visibility, reduce risk, and improve effectiveness. Customers will benefit from this combination by getting an immediate understanding of vulnerability risk for IT resources, reducing risk with frictionless workflows, transfer of data, and vulnerability prioritization, and speeding time to fix with SecOps and ITops collaboration. In today's demo, we'll see two roles: Naomi, an IT operator who is responding to a critical alert and needs to investigate, and Adam, our security analyst responsible for addressing vulnerabilities in Security Incident Manager and Vulnerability Manager. After logging into the operator workspace, Naomi notices that the rewards processing service has turned red. She clicks on the service preview tile to show that there is one primary alert associated with it. She decides to drill down into the alert and look into the underlying configuration items which are throwing alerts. Naomi reviews the details of the service, including the CIs impacted and the general composition of the service. On the Service Details page under Related Alerts, Naomi finds one automated grouped alert that is related to a Tomcat CI, with a number of requests hovering around 500 requests per second. She suspects that this could be due to unauthorized connections attempts. Before diving into the alert details, Naomi decides to check the service map to understand the dependencies of underlying CIs. She notices two of the CIs are marked in red and further notices that there is a vulnerability icon against the Tomcat CI. She further wishes to drill down into the service map by clicking on the Full View button. In the Full View, Naomi can see the topology of the service, a timeline of what happened, the related alerts, showing several data sources of the event origination, and the single alert that they were all correlated to. Naomi analyzes the service map, as well as the information in the grouped alerts for this service. She notes different metrics are being impacted, such as high RAM usage, high CPU utilization, a spike in the number of requests, and an increase in processing time. In addition, Naomi notices the HA proxy node is also impacted. On the service map, Naomi notices the vulnerability item icon on the Tomcat server. At this point, she suspects the probability that this vulnerability is being exploited, which is why these metrics are also impacted. She then decides to create a security incident to engage the security team so that proper remediation can be done. From the automated group alert, she creates the security incident through the button available. Now that our security incident is created and assigned, we'll change roles and follow Adam as he works on the security incident. Adam is logged in and he's reviewing his security incident workbench. On the quick filters, Adam sees a new incident, so he clicks the tab to see the incident information. He selects the incident to view it in the new UI. Adam can view all the information about the incident, including the details mapped from the originating alert record. Adam looks at different sections such as observables and threat lookup results. He expands the work notes to see the additional information mapped from the alert. Adam also notices that the increase in the number of requests is due to the hits from a specific IP address. Thereafter, he checks the Explore tab of the security incident. On the left pane, he checks the observables and sees a specific IP address listed, with the finding as malicious. Under Configuration Items, he also discovers a vulnerable item already associated with the incident. After analyzing these different parameters, Adam concludes that this may be a denial of service attack on the Tomcat server from that specific IP. He then edits the security incident, setting the category and subcategory options, and saves the form. Now, this is an important step, since setting up the categorization determines the remediation playbook that drives the workflow to fix this particular issue. The first task in our playbook is for Adam to decide whether or not this particular threat is from an internal attacker or not. He reviews all the data that's been presented to him and finds that this was not an internal attacker based on the IP address, which is external to the company. He makes his selection and completes this step. The next task in the contain stage is for Adam to send an email to notify the DOS protection provider or ISP of the situation and keep them informed. Note that for each task in the playbook, Adam can refer to instructions and guidance, walking him through the entire process. He composes the email using a pre-made template that's provided. Moving on to the eradicate stage, Adam decides if a firewall block is necessary, and if so, he needs to submit a request to the appropriate authority to do so. Once Adam starts the task, he navigates to the Explore tab to the observables, selecting the IP address in question. From there, he selects Block Request and clicks Run to submit that request. The next task in the eradicate phase is for Adam to identify whether or not a vulnerability is actually being exploited. Since the process started with an alert from the vulnerable item, Adam checks Yes and clicks Submit to continue to the next task. Based on our response from the previous task, Adam can remediate the vulnerability we've identified. Next, Adam creates an ad hoc task and assigns it to the responsible IT team to have the vulnerability taken care of. In this case, the application security team will deploy a patch to remediate this vulnerability. Adam's final task requires him to check the integrity of the system that was attacked to ensure that it is still in good working order. After a system is attacked, it could become compromised and incapable of operating properly. So Adam will walk through whatever steps are necessary, such as to confirm that monitoring tools are sending clear events, and then he can mark this final step as complete. Now we'll head back to Operator Workspace and our IT operator, Naomi. As the vulnerability remediation process is complete and monitoring tools are sending those back to normal state events, we can see that the rewards processing service has changed from red to green, signaling the return to a steady state. To understand the alert closure due to a trigger of clear events, we'll head over to Lists All Alerts in the Operator Workspace. On the alert activity, we see that the alert was closed as a clear event was reported with a normal value of the metrics 200 requests per second. In a similar way, the remaining secondary alerts were closed as normal events were reported for associated metrics by the respective monitoring systems. Since all the underlying secondary alerts were closed, the automated primary group alert also gets closed. Due to the closure of underlying alerts, the service has now turned back to green. Ultimately, this combination empowers fast and effective IT response to vulnerabilities. We've shown you how ServiceNow IT Operations Management and Security Operations Solutions work together to achieve improved visibility, reduce risk, and improve effectiveness. Customers will benefit from this combination by getting an immediate understanding of vulnerability risk for IT resources, reducing risk with frictionless workflows, transfer of data, and vulnerability prioritization, and speeding time to fix with SecOps and ITops collaboration. All this is possible through the single lens of ServiceNow, leveraging the common data model and power of the platform. For more information, Check out the ITOM Health and Security Operations Solution pages at ServiceNow.com, as well as the additional resources on this demo page.